Hello, Smarty family. DJ here, and I'm also here with
Liam Landry, the former Small Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion of Picking,
yeah,
that became former at WrestleMania.
yeah,
Congratulations, Francesca.
yeah, yeah. Shame, I feel so bad for you.
So is that the movement?
No,
No.
shut up. No, but we were at WrestleMania, as y'all all know from our predictions video, from all the videos leading up to this one, and yeah, I'd say it was okay. I mean, we went to NXT the night before, so it wasn't as great as NXT, but it was good.
Yeah, it was very entertaining WrestleMania. It had some really good points and some weird decisions, but overall pretty solid.
Yeah. So we got 13 matches to get to, so let's just go right down the card.
Okay, it started off with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, with the winner being Matt Hardy.
I'll let you say about that.
Well, as I predicted in the predictions video, I predicted that Matt Hardy was going to win with interference from a Woken Bray Wyatt, and that's in fact what happened. The match basically went down to Matt Hardy and the two former champions, Mojo Rawley and Baron Corbin, and Woken Bray Wyatt showed up and helped Woken Matt win. I thought it was, and a lot of the battle royals, it's difficult to kind of do a really good one. A lot of them just kind of end in little pushing matches over ropes. But when it came down to the last few people, that's when it really started getting good, and it also got better than any of the other Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royals, because of the fact that it went to push a storyline of the team of Woken Matt and Woken Bray.
Yeah, I did like that because I did like how Bray Wyatt did come in and help out Matt Hardy. It was cool to see. They actually did something with the Battle Royale instead of just having a bunch of men in the ring and push them over and somebody wins.
Yeah.
They actually did a storyline with this, which I think they should do in the future.
Yeah, they haven't done that since the first time when Cesaro won it and Jack Swagger got jealous and destroyed it.
I remember that. Yeah, so, yeah, I'd say it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah. So, next we had the women? No, we had the
Cruiserweight
The Cruiserweight Classic. We had Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander, with Cedric Alexander winning.
And becoming the new Cruiserweight champion.
Yes, we had a tournament leading up to this, if you did not know. And the finals was at WrestleMania on the kickoff show. So it was, I guess I'll start off. It was pretty good, huh?
Yeah,
it wasn't much. I haven't seen much of 205 Live, so I really don't know these guys too well. But I'm kind of glad Cedric did it Cedric won because Cedric's been in, I think, a little longer. Or they might have been in the same amount of time, I'm not too sure. But I just like Cedric's style of fighting a little bit better, I guess.
Yeah, well, Cedric has been there longer. But, I mean, it was a very good match. They were able to work really well. I was thinking 205 Live has been on a really good run as of late because Triple H took over the management and allowed them to show off their style more than what they used to be because they were so limited back when Vince was still the lead on that. And I was wondering, since pay-per-views are booked by Vince McMahon, if it's going to go back to that or is it going to be the same style as 205 Live has been. And it's been the same style, so it was really good wrestling, really good high-flying spots.
Yeah.
Really good Spanish fly from the top rope there that got a lot of people over.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so it was a pretty good match. It was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Definitely. Not as good as the one a couple years ago. Or was it like it wasn't as good as that one with Neville or Austin Aries one, but it was still good. So next we have the women's battle royale. Not worth it, in my opinion.
It was a very good battle royale. It was actually better than the men's all the way up until the ending.
Right.
Because while the men's had a few spots in there, it was a lot of the way of Mojo knocking over Zack Ryder and Goldust doing the dab. So there was very little things there. But in the women's battle royal, they had so many women doing spots and getting over in there. There were so many opportunities where they showed the best of people, especially the NXT talent that was in there. They did a great job at getting them over and showing them off. That it made it more entertaining all the way through. The only problem was that at the end, we had Bayley versus Sasha. Bayley tossed out Sasha when Sasha was going in for a handshake, and of course furthering the storyline between them two about it looks like Sasha would be turning heel and be facing off against each other, but they decided to swerve on that and go with Naomi, a person that I didn't even see in the whole match all the way through. And I even think there was a Snapchat post from Renee Young when she was watching that, and she's like, when Naomi comes in, she's like, Naomi, didn't she get thrown out? So it's like, so even Renee Young couldn't have caught up with didn't keep up with the match, and then Naomi ended up winning.
Yeah,
it's sad because she can't even really do anything with it. Because all the champions are faces now, so it's not like she's going to be going.
And the thing that gets me is, I know this is the women's, but if they do the same thing they've been doing with the men's, they won't do anything with Naomi, because all the men have won. They haven't really done much. I'm sorry, Baron Corbin did win a championship. Sorry, but I just don't think they're going to do much with Naomi. I hope they don't. I do not like her gimmick. Naomi's gimmick. I never did like the glow in the dark stuff. I never really did like it. So, no, I didn't like how it ended. Just like Liam said, he basically said everything I would have said. So
and it's like in all the points, like I was saying, they had all these different women get their high spots and get moments in there to get over. Naomi wasn't even one of those women.
Right.
So she's literally someone who didn't do anything in the match and was out of it for most of it, and then ended up winning. It was a ridiculous decision and probably the worst of that night. And so it was worth it all the way up until that point.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the reversal of the men's. The men's had the better ending,
right?
And the women had the better everything
match.
else.
Yeah, basically. So that's your pre-show. Now we're gonna get to our 10 matches on the card. It was pretty good. We're gonna start with the first championship match, which was the Intercontinental title. With Finn Balor, The Miz, and your new Intercontinental champion, Seth Rollins.
Yes, he pinned The Miz to win the title, because Miz was also the former champion.
Yes. And the weird thing was, The Miz came out with his Miztourage like he normally does, but he was whispering something to him, and you see both of them go backstage. And I kind of thought that was just kind of weird, because he can't win without the Miztourage. Sadly enough, he didn't win. And it proves the point. And we'll get, that was, and it was a pretty good match. They had, I think everybody except The Miz kind of did like a high flying spot. That was pretty cool to see. Finn, I always like seeing Finn do his high flying. So,
it was one of the best matches of the night. Really, it was very good. A lot of great things where, each guy was getting their finishers in and all, and it's a really exciting match. They worked really well with each other.
Yeah,
it was really good. And I should also say that this started the trend of the night, which was having really good entrances. Not every entrance was really great, but they had a lot more this year than I think in many years past.
Yeah,
they really went all out with that, and that was with Seth Rollins having giant flames come out of the stage for the "Burn It Down" part of his song.
Yeah, and so it was. I did like the entrances this year, especially.
And also Baylor coming out with an entire group of people behind him,
Oh yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome to see. So, yeah, we'll talk more about the entrances as we go through the matches, but I certainly think this match was worth it.
Definitely worth it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, one of the better matches of the night, Liam. So, good pick. Next match?
The next match was another one that's a contender for best match of the night, and that was the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Charlotte and Asuka.
I'll let you start.
I thought it was a very good match. The only problem with it was the ending, really, and how they built both Charlotte and Asuka here, because throughout the whole match, Asuka was working Charlotte's arm, and she was putting her in arm bars and everything, and Charlotte was getting out, and that's fine. But Charlotte goes and puts Asuka in the first figure 8 lock without ever working Asuka's legs at all, and she taps pretty quickly in it.
Yeah, that was kind of shocking. It's like Liam said at the event. It was now we know John Cena of the SmackDown of the women's division.
Yeah, I even think it was a good good comparison to say when Roman Reigns was going through his first build up. He was going through a lot of matches where he would take 2 or 3 of the other person's finishers and then hit one spear and wins the match. And It feels just like that. And it's like, well, it seems so one-sided when you're building up the figure 8 lock so much.
And I wasn't surprised by Asuka losing, because I do hate that she lost on a pay-per-view, her first loss, and not like a SmackDown or a Raw loss. But I don't know if she can speak English, but...
I mean, she can speak English.
But I mean, it's just like Shinsuke. Shinsuke can't, we'll get to that later, but I don't know if she can speak well enough to be a champion. I haven't really heard her speak, so I don't know if she can speak enough to be champion. And maybe that's where they're going with this. I don't know. I just hate how they made her have her first loss on the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, I just hate the fact that they didn't really build it correctly. If they really wanted to do it, they would have worked Asuka's legs more and made it so that she could barely stand on one of her legs, then put her in the figure 8, and maybe she gets out of one and then has to put it into another one. It's just kind of building Charlotte as too strong, and then even having Asuka afterwards say that Charlotte was ready for Asuka. I mean, it's like she's almost verbally saying, "I'm inferior to Charlotte." It's just not a really good way to take your best female wrestler.
I mean, you were doing the Empress versus the Goddess, basically, and it didn't
Empress versus the Queen.
Versus the Queen, and it didn't even feel like that, really. It felt like the Empress versus somebody higher than the Queen,
Yeah.
It just kind of felt like Charlotte took over. It's like a John, it's like it was just not. It was a good match, but the way it ended was kind of bad.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the women's match, the way it ended was, you're not necessarily. I mean, you're not. I am upset with the pick, but it just wasn't how it ended with the tap out quickly. I didn't like it.
It was still a good match overall.
Right.
It was just bad decision making on their part for protecting Asuka.
Yeah. So it made Asuka look kind of weak.
Yes.
For tapping out. So, and the next match that we have.
I just had it pulled up.
And I will mention John Cena was in the stands during the night, and a ref came up to him and whispered something to him, and he had to run backstage to get ready for something. So we will be mentioning that a little bit later on in the video. So be prepared.
Yeah, because he was doing it as Charlotte was kind of going back up the ramp, and it's like, I don't know, a good way to stop people from caring about that match. And
right.
Seems like a weird time.
Yeah, that was. Wait, that actually happened at that point?
Yeah, Charlotte was going. Charlotte was going up the ramp when he went. Yeah, the next one is the United States Championship match.
So Jinder, Bobby, Rusev, and Randy Orton.
Who was the champion.
Yes.
In time. and Jinder ended up pinning Rusev on Rusev Day because WWE hates us. That doesn't sound logical. It was fine enough for what it was, but it was very, very short, and no one could really get into the match with how short it was.
It was, and now don't get me wrong, the entrances again were great, but the match was a little short, and you were kind of shocked. Jinder Mahal, he came out of nowhere really, because Rusev Day's been pushed so much the last 3 or 4. I kind of hate how
it wasn't even really pushed. It's just been really over.
I kind of hate how they put Rusev in this match really, because Rusev's the only one that's been getting the put over really. The last 2 weeks on SmackDown, and they haven't been building up the other guys even a little bit. You know, and Jinder hasn't been built up that much at all for this match, and it was just kind of bad. I didn't like it. Now we're gonna have another Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton feud, I think, for the next couple of pay-per-views.
Yep, very boring.
Yeah, they were. It was not that great of a rivalry. So, but the match, I don't think it was worth it.
Yeah, it was just short and just kind of a few little spots here and there. And I think it would have all been made better if Rusev did come out as champion. And that I think everyone would feel better. I would definitely feel better if I would have loved the idea of a triple accolade. Like he gets all 3 of them in an accolade and ends up tapping them out, at least one of them, to win the championship. That would have been a great Rusev Day.
Yes.
But that, of course, did not happen, and it's not even just saying Rusev losing. It's just overall wasn't really good. I mean, even with that, I think it was one of the only matches of the night that didn't have a big entrance, because I don't think they did it. I don't believe they did anything.
I wasn't around for Randy Orton coming out, so I don't remember.
I know that this year they were starting to do some like VR stuff. Because if you look at not VR, AR, augmented reality.
Oh, okay.
They were doing stuff like that for. They were doing stuff like that for the entrances. I could see from the screen that they were kind of putting stuff on, but so maybe they did have something like that, but we couldn't see it because we were live.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think it was the only match that didn't have someone come in with a major entrance.
Oh, for like only TV, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. But it just wasn't right. That was the only match without a big entrance. Yeah, so.
No big entrance and short and nothing too great in it.
Right. Not worth it.
Yeah, not worth it. After that, we had Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle facing off against Stephanie McMahon and Triple H.
This could have been, I'm not going to say match of the year, but I will say a 5-star match. It did go back and forth a lot. I did like how we had a big entrance with Triple H. You knew that was going to happen. Triple H and Stephanie had their big entrance. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey got a big pop, as you probably would have expected. Kurt Angle got the "You Sucks" chants. But overall, the match was phenomenal. I say that because I liked how Triple H basically told the ref, no rules. Not that it wasn't just, there was no disqualifications, but it kind of felt that way. The women fought the men fought the women. You know, there wasn't a lot of tags in and out. I mean, it kind of felt like a 4-way match, kind of, instead of a tag team. I mean, you had a little bit of a tag match in there, but other than that, it was just a bunch of whoever was in the ring was fighting at the time, basically.
Yeah, it was a little hard to follow because of that. It was good. Ronda looked good in her parts there, and they it's a tag match because they definitely wanted to protect Ronda, and you had Kurt Angle and Triple H, 2 really great stars who know how to put on a great match. So they were definitely in there doing just that. They knew what spots to do. They really put a lot of effort into this match to get over Ronda Rousey, and it worked. So it was a real good match.
Yes, it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Yes,
worth it. Yeah,
very much so. And Ronda Rousey won by doing the moves she does in UFC.
Yeah, doing on
bar to Stephanie McMahon.
Next up, we had the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, which was the champions Uso facing off against the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers.
Okay.
You said was very happy about the match.
Who?
You.
Yep. I'm not happy how it went. The Usos and then it like you said at WrestleMania, Liam, that the New Day and the Usos are gonna have to team up to fight the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, I mean that's clearly the story they're trying to work out there. Just building up the Bludgeon Brothers and making them seem tougher and tougher. And then,
I do agree with that. They look.
But I mean, it had the potential of being a great match from all the people in it, but it once again kind of like the U.S. Championship, very short and underwhelming.
Yeah, and for the greatest stage of them all, you still could have found a way to make the Bludgeon Brothers look good, even with the Usos and the New Day having their spots. You know.
Yeah, it just seems like one of those matches that had to get cut down to fill in for the time constraints.
Yeah, so it was. If you like the Bludgeon Brothers, it was worth it. If you don't like the Bludgeon Brothers and you like the other two, it wasn't worth it. Pretty much, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Next, we had the Undertaker and John Cena matchup.
All right, how this one went down. Well, as you all know, John Cena has been with WWE, and I don't mean World Wrestling Entertainment. I mean Walking with Elias. They've been having a little bit of a feud, I guess. And Elias came out, did his little singing, and John Cena got him over. And then you hear the bells, and Undertaker comes out. Undertaker looked pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it was a short match, about 2 minutes 40 seconds from what I've been hearing. Really, all that's been great about it was the build up to it, especially in the night, because Elias Sampson just came out and just performed really well. He got so much heat on him, and he had so much will they build to it. It was really great build, and I think they course did that because Undertaker just can't put on long matches anymore, so they had to fill in time elsewhere with that, and he looked good in that 2 minutes 40 seconds. But a lot of people can in that short time.
Right, but the Undertaker, I didn't think I'd see him bouncing off of ropes, doing all of this. I thought I'd see him, throw a few punches in the corner, do a tombstone, and pin John Cena. I didn't think I'd see him moving around as well as he did for not being, in WWE. That just shows how great of shape he was in.
Yeah.
So I guess, was it worth it?
I would say worth it as an overall segment.
Okay, yeah.
If you just look at the match itself, no, but...
Right, okay. So, yeah. I agree with that.
Next up, we had the match with the returning Daniel Bryan teaming up with Shane McMahon to face Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm done with that. You want to
go? Well, I'll give a little bit. I'll let you take most of it because I ended up having to miss some of this match because I had to go to the bathroom real bad.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So...
yeah. Oh, you can say your parts, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, it was a little wonky to have Daniel Bryan for a lot of it, especially since Shane McMahon is coming back from diverticulitis and everything. And
a hernia.
Yeah. And, but, from what it was, the emotional, all the emotion in there of Daniel Bryan making his return, I don't think there's any way that wouldn't be such important, it wouldn't be worth it.
Right.
No matter what happened in the match itself.
Well, I wouldn't say it wouldn't be worth it. It is not worth it. Shane McMahon takes up 80% of this match.
No, as I said, you couldn't say it wouldn't be worth it.
Whatever
they did in the match, it wouldn't really matter because it's Daniel Bryan making his return.
Right. Okay. Yeah. You're
and
right.
just being able to see that would always be worth it.
Okay. That's right. Yeah. Now I wish Daniel Bryan would have did a little bit more. I know they're trying to be very cautious with him. They're even gonna have him do medical exams after every match. But he did do some flying out the ring stuff that I was surprised to see. I was really surprised to see Shane do as much as he did, like you said, with the litis and hernia. But overall, for the storyline, it was you knew where it was going. Daniel Bryan winning with his yes lock, and that's what everybody wanted to see. And it wasn't as loud as at WrestleMania 30, but for Daniel Bryan coming back after thinking he was done is just amazing to me.
Yeah, right. So, we both say that's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
After that, we had the Raw Women's Championship match with Alexa Bliss as champion, being defeated by Nia Jax. And I'll start by saying I thought this was, a really great build. I can't say I've been following the build for every single match here, but I thought it was very good and got a lot of people talking about it and got Nia over as a legitimate face. I think the cheers, from WrestleMania and from the Raw afterwards definitely proved that people really want Nia and really want her as a face.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I mean, Nia didn't really work as the heel everybody thought she was gonna be in the main roster, but I think as a face she'll be a lot better, and it'll make Alexa Bliss look that much better playing her character.
Yeah, and it was also a good match too. They had a very logical start because when it comes to the idea of grudge matches, sometimes they don't really do it right because they just kind of get in there and just have a regular match. But with this, you can see Nia was upset and coming in and just smashing people up. Yeah, you ended up missing the very early part where she came down and just destroyed Mickie James, which is a very smart part so that Mickie James wouldn't be able to interfere in the match. But then she just went to town on Alexa Bliss, and Alexa had to try to do everything she could to try to stop Nia, but wasn't able to. And I thought there was some really nice camera work from what I could see from the big screens and in the stadium, where there's a point where Nia is yelling at Alexa, and it kind of like cuts from Nia yelling to Alexa screaming.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I thought that was wonderfully done.
Yeah, that sounds like it was really done. I'll have to check that out on the network.
Yeah.
So
I would say it's worth it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a match like Charlotte versus Asuka, but it was a really good storytelling event and just a really nice beatdown and a good feeling at the end of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, oh yeah, I agree with everything you said. It's worth it. WWE doesn't do this often where the match looks good for the storyline. It was worth it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next, we had the WWE Championship match with AJ Styles, the champion, retaining against Shinsuke Nakamura.
We all picked AJ Styles, Francesca, Liam, Issa, and I all picked AJ Styles. We all thought Shinsuke Nakamura wouldn't, be able to talk too much English. He's not really that much of a talker. So
I mean, it's what we think the WWE thinks.
Right. Yeah. Well, right.
I mean, I would want to see him as champion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's just I don't look at WWE
doing that,
especially with Vince McMahon still at the helm.
But overall, it was a good match. They did a little bit of everything. Tried to do a phenomenal forearm. I think he hit it once. He hit the Kinshasa once. So everybody got their part in.
Well, I don't think he wasn't able to land the Kinshasa.
Oh, he missed that. Okay.
Well, no, it got converted into the Styles Clash.
That's right. Towards the end. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I remember that.
And then out of nowhere, he wins with the Styles Clash.
Right.
I think that's one of the few times he's ever done that in WWE.
Oh, really? It's been pins? Phenomenal forearm and then the pin?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, okay. I didn't know that. And I watch SmackDown every week.
But that was a great maneuver there. Yeah. I think a lot of people were thinking it wasn't up to their expectations because they were kind of thinking back at AJ versus Nakamura at what was it, Wrestle Kingdom 9, I think it was, or 8.
And that was a better match?
Yeah, 9. I think it was 9 or 10. Yeah, that was a better match because they were able to do more being in Japan from just,
because they don't fight as often.
Yeah, they don't fight as often, so they can just kind of destroy each other with more realistic kicks and everything. And so it's difficult to compare that to, but I think it was still a very solid match.
Yes, it was worth it.
As next, we had the most over wrestler of the night come out. The team of the two most over wrestlers come out, and that was the Raw Tag Team Championship match with the Bar as the champions, losing to the team of Braun Strowman and Nicholas.
No, you lost to a 10-year-old, not to Braun Strowman. That's what Kurt Angle said Monday night. You lost to a 10-year-old.
No, they lost to Braun Strowman. Braun was the only one who did anything.
No,
in the match.
right. But it was nice to see. We Liam told me earlier later on that it was
it was one of the refs' sons.
Yeah, and that was really nice to let him get in the match, let him, at least kind of feel what it's like to be in the ring, kind of be on the...
Yeah, one of the things that I kind of felt was lost in a lot of the WrestleManias of late is the WrestleMania moments, which are the big moments that, people are talking about afterwards, not just great, moments, just really exciting stuff, and that was one of them right here.
Right, because the last one I can remember is when Ronda Rousey and The Rock came in.
Yeah,
that's like the last one, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
that's like 2 or 3 years ago now. So it was nice to have like you said, a WrestleMania moment. We'll talk more about it on our video for Monday night, but
and I also
he's the most loved kid right now.
Yeah, I also thought it was a logical thing too, because Braun doesn't really get along with the other wrestlers outside of Alexa Bliss, really. Ever since he left the Wyatt family and went on his own, so it would make more sense for him to not pick anyone in the back, and for him just to go to the fan. It just feels like a Braun thing to do. And I also would say I thought they had the best entrances of the night because we had the Bar coming out on a float, a small float, throwing beads at everyone. That was already very cool. And then Braun Strowman comes out, scares everyone else off the floats, and then just pushes it off the stage.
Yeah, and you had people in mannequins, basically big mannequins,
giant mannequin heads.
Yeah, and that was very cool. I knew somebody was gonna do it. I thought it might have been the New Day, but the Bar didn't, so it was awesome. The match was worth it. Please check it out.
The match was just worth it for, just like I said, the WrestleMania moment. Personally, I thought that I didn't even want him to be with another wrestler. I just thought he should have done it by himself.
Yeah.
Still going on, because it just makes him look even stronger. And realistically, he did it by himself. He just added a little moment with the kid.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah. I would say definitely it was worth it just for that. Next we had that's the last one. Universal Championship.
This is the last match, huh?
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
Now, funny if it ended on Strowman Nicholas in the middle of the ring with confetti and fireworks going off.
I'm sitting here like this. If you weren't there, which y'all weren't probably, but if you weren't there, you have no idea why the crowd was chanting what they were chanting. We chanted 3 or 4 different things because we chanted delete. Why were we chanting delete? Because we had a beach ball, and the people take the beach balls away, and they would deflate them, and we delete that person. It's nothing about the match. The match was pathetic. I had a guy sitting next to me. He told me Brock Lesnar has 2 moves: the F5 and the suplex. Roman Reigns has 2 moves: the Superman punch and the spear. That's it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, it was very underwhelming.
Sorry.
No one really wanted to see it, and no one really wanted to be there. And I felt like if we weren't going to do a video on it, we could have just left at the Strowman victory, and we would have been happier.
It wasn't worth it. No, I'm done with that now. But overall, the WrestleMania was pretty good. I give it. The endings were kind of weird in some. I usually give A's, but I'm giving a B+ tonight. Everything but the main event was pretty good.
Yeah, they just had a few hiccups, in the night, but it was very solid. With everything else, and it still felt like a WrestleMania. I think when it comes to next year, they're gonna have to really cut down. Like I don't think anyone wants WrestleManias to be this long, because that was another thing going into the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match, was the WrestleMania fatigue was really heavy at that point.
I mean, you're after 11 o'clock and we still have the match going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already 5 hours long.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like going to 9 o'clock and you were like, oh, they have 2 matches, left, right, and I was like, no, they have 4.
Yeah.
and I think we were in.
I mean, I was thinking, how are they gonna get these? They're gonna get these matches done and still have another hour left.
And I was in one of the matches, and it was like, man, Kid Rock is here because of the Hall of Fame induction, and he's also had the theme for WrestleMania. I was like, God, I really hope he doesn't have a concert. And
he didn't, which was
yeah,
good.
Thank God, yeah.
You didn't have that, but then you had the Brock Lesnar match, which was like a John Cena match, just drug out too long. And,
yeah, I was saying just mostly for the time constraints, right. I didn't want to see him go out there.
But other than that, it was a good pay-per-view. With all they had to do, with all the matches they had, and everybody remembering what they had to do and everything, it was pretty good.
Yeah, one of the better WrestleManias as of late.
Yeah. So, please like, share, subscribe, hit those sexy notifications. You can follow Liam at Liam_SWA on Twitter. And you can also follow Isa and Francesca. And please watch us every Sunday from 1 to 2. We will 1 to 2 Central Time. We will be going live, doing podcasts. A little bit. We'll do a little bit not WWE, what's going on in the world of wrestling that week, and then the rest will be about WWE, what crazy from anything from crazy segments, and so yeah, just check it out. So until next time.